I was listening to a little bit of Alex Jones with Bob Chapman, and I don't know. I can't even listen to all that stuff anymore. It's getting to be gets kind of deep sometimes, just to put it mildly. The headline was that gold could be $3,200 by could be $3,200 by February 2012. And I'm getting through all this stuff about Alex Jones talking about his dog and Israel and everything else, and I don't know, but I would not ever go by that prediction. I don't know if gold's going up or down in the near term. I think it's going to do very good this year. But I also heard from Mark Faber, Jim Rogers, to be a little cautious. There could be another little bit of a pullback. But to say $3,200 possibly by February 2012 possible, I think that's an outlandish prediction. So I'd be very wary of some of these predictions out there. This is from PNG, the Professional Numismatics Guild, and they got some pretty wide-ranging estimates upon what silver's going to be this year. Some say, to just cut to the chase, because I want to make this short, silver could be from $23 to $130 with an average of 40, I'll say 49 by the end of 2012. But I also want to point out this: it's not what it is at the end of the year; it is at the time which you sell. That's the most common sense, right? No brainer. But think about it. I keep seeing all these people telling you buy silver and hold. Buy it on the dips. I think you should keep a big reserve back, and not. But I don't think it wouldn't be a bad idea to play around with some physical too, as far as buying and selling. Obviously I got an extremely small channel, so I'm gonna tell you the obvious here though. What you really should do, physical or anything, if you knew where the high is going to be and you knew where the low is going to be, you should sell everything at the high and buy it back at the low and not tell one damn person about it. Because you'd screw it up for yourself if you did. So be careful what information you get out there. Very much so. When you get people telling millions of people, yeah, they get paid to talk. And you know what? That talk is worthless. Now, if I figured gold was going to go up to even $2,000 an ounce or $1,900 an ounce within the next month or so, I'd slam down on double leverage gold, and I'd be making my bets. That's what I'd be doing. Then I'd be dumping it as soon as I got the money. I don't like what these guys. I hate this stuff sometimes. I get on the net and I'm listening to these guys, and what a bunch of BS throwers left and right. But even so, if you're buying physical and you see some serious gains, they're not going to run out of physical. I mean, especially in non-numismatic type coins or the more rare coins. If you've got these Indian heads and stuff like that, sell them. Sell them. If the thing goes up 2 or 3 times, dump some of it. Take some gains. That's what I'm going to do. And wait for a pullback. But I don't really know when the top's going to be. I think this 2012 is going to be a stellar year. But it could be, I don't know what it's going to be at the end point of the year. I really don't care. I just want to get near the tops and near the bottoms for buying and near the tops for selling. That's all I'm interested in. I've been hearing some wild predictions out there, and for it to go, some of these things at this coin dealers, Professional Numismatics Guild, states on here, they're talking that possibly platinum could be over $2,000 an ounce. I don't know why it would be even that low. I think it's going to do a lot better than that. And one of the reasons is you can see this ratio is already changing. This was like 1.15 where gold was 15% higher than platinum. Now it's about 7% higher than platinum. So I think this ratio has been correcting pretty fast. Now, if you figure gold is going to be going up to a good $2,000, I think it's going to go to 2,500. I'm more on the high side of that guild that's making these predictions. Me personally, I think the more responsible people do not want to make very high predictions, because once you make a prediction like that, people hold you to it. So, um, you know, even if they think that it's going to go that high, they'll they'll backtrack some because they don't want to stick their neck out and be on record for making some crazy prediction. But some of these people are out there making wild predictions like, I don't know, people don't want to hear this, but I just was listening to that stuff on Bob Chapman on Alex Jones. He's uncanny accurately making predictions, and well, throw your money down, Bob, but I don't know why you'd be telling anybody which way it's going, because if I knew, I flat out knew the exact prices where gold was going to be or silver was going to be, I definitely wouldn't be telling anybody on YouTube, because I'd be screwing it up. I'd be wrecking those predictions. But once they get public, I'd be wrecking them. If there was a game going on that the system was rigged or something like that, I couldn't tell anybody. It would just ruin it anyway. So some of these predictions out there, I get aggravated at because they're just out of line. But what I'm going to do, though, if I see some kind of problem goes on where they're going to downgrade the debt or something like that, well, it looks like it's coming up soon. And, well, I'd probably go double leverage gold. And if it makes a 10% gain and maybe the double leverage is a 20% gain, I'm going to dump it. That's what I'm going to do. I heard Alex Jones talking a little bit about Israel, and he says he gets sick of things about Israel and this and that, and he gets accused of this and that. But, I always had this idea on Israel, that Israel ought to be located right smack in the middle of the United States, like Las Vegas is. And instead of paying out, billions of dollars to Israel, well, you pay out to support the Israel that's located in the United States. They can have like a big Las Vegas in there with the temples and everything like that, and it would be good for the economy over here too. And you wouldn't have to worry about all this garbage going on in the Middle East. I mean, that's my idea on it, but that sounds too simple, In other words, why the heck does Israel have to be over there anyway, right? Why not just have it over here in the United States? There's plenty of land. That's the way I look at it. I mean, some Americans probably wouldn't like that, but I mean, it would be just kind of like its own country, but it's not its own country. And set it up with, temples, entertainment, gambling, whatever the heck other fun things you got out there. And that's it. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And then Jews got their own special place. But I kind of agree with that stuff. Being over in the Middle East, that's kind of like the worst place in the world to have Israel because, everybody's getting pissed off at each other and it's a big mess. But, I guess that's a religious thing. It has to be over there, but I don't see why not. I think it could be over here in the United States, and that's my own stupid idea about it. But nobody ever says that. But I think that would work. It's too simple. People bitch about foreign aid. Well, it's going here to the United States anyway. It's some kind of quasi-independent country. And if it's smack right in the middle of the United States, they ain't got nothing to worry about. That's the way I look at it. And if the money's being spent over here in the United States, all the businesses or whatever they're doing, well, guess what? Then you don't have to worry about it's hurting the American economy. It's getting spent internally, one way or another. Big deal. So that's my solution to it. Except it isn't the Holy Land, so if they can get over that part, and have it someplace else, hey, it would work great. But getting back to some of these predictions. God, I heard that stuff. I just had to go off on that. Possibly $3,200 an ounce gold by February 2012. That is a one wild prediction. That is some crazy ass prediction. And talking about got inside information that Goldman Sachs is telling its insiders to short the markets. Well, I go more by Mark Faber, and he doesn't necessarily think the markets are going to go down in the short term, and it makes a lot of sense to me because of the elections coming up. If anything's going to happen to the economy, you'd think it would be after the elections. So, all this doom and gloom and some of these wild predictions, it reminds me of a bunch of yellow journalism. I just hope no people are, well, I don't know the future, let me put it that way, but I hope no people are acting upon those type of recommendations, because I can't see that happening. And I don't think the markets are going to tank right away and all this type of stuff. I think they will eventually. And the guys that listen to Jim Rogers and Mark Farber both say they will. All the markets globally are going to tank eventually. But sensationalistic yellow journalism, get very much annoyed with that stuff. And it's important to keep a clear head. And if you got physical metals, don't sell all of them. I'm saying that. But if you want to go sell some, if we get some good gains this year, we go like $75 an ounce or more, I think that'd be smart to sell some. Take some profits and use that money on things that you think use it for. Well, keeping cash around, I think cash is going to have a good value, so it's good to keep some cash. And you never know. If I think the one thing I always look at too, if silver goes to $2, $3, $4, $5, $600 an ounce, I think there's going to become up a lot more regulation as far as having to get it cashed in. You might have a hard time doing it anyway. You don't know what kind of rules, the roadblocks they could throw up at you. So it's always good to move in pieces. Although you're not going to catch it exactly right, it's probably a safer way to do it. You got to remember, if it goes to 75 or more dollars an ounce, you got more. That's 2.5 times from what it was just a few weeks ago. But watch these predictions out there. There are some BS throwers left and right, and I'm tired of hearing that garbage. Realistically speaking, though, I do think that we're going to have an extremely bullish year for the metals. But these same clowns are going to be telling you to hold when it's at the peak. That I know. I don't know exactly where the peak is, but these guys are going to tell you, oh, we got them on the run. If silver goes to some crazy price, don't be afraid to sell a little bit. You might not catch it just right, but they'll be telling you to hold when it's getting ready to crash too. The big guys like Eric Sprott, who sold perfectly on all the highs, he didn't get out there and say, hey, I'm going to sell my silver. No, he just did it and told you after the fact. Just remember that. I mean, that's how they're making the money.